Good morning, Storytime friends. We are joining you today from our campsite. We're having a wonderful campfire and thought it would be so much fun to do a story time at the campground. So we're going to do a story time tonight about the nighttime animals. We'll read some stories, we'll sing some songs, and we even have a game to play and a craft for you to do. We are here in our tent and we're going to do our hello song from right here. You ready, Lydia? We wave and say hello. We wave and say hello. With our friends at story time, we wave and say hello. What's next?
Indeed. We sit up and say hello.
Okay, we sit up and say hello. With our friends at story time, we sit up and say hello. All right. Now, do you want to cast your fishing pole? Okay, ready? We cast and say hello. We cast out and say hello. With our friends at story time, we cast out and say hello. Whoa, she's got one. Oh my goodness. Ah! Okay, let's do one more. What's your last one?
We lick our ice cream and say hello.
We lick our ice cream and say hello. We lick our ice cream and say hello. With our friends at story time, we lick our ice cream and say hello. Aw, those were very summery. That was fun. I would like to read a story. Lydia, will you film while I read us a story?
Sure.
I thought because we were at nighttime, we could do a story about nighttime. That'd be fun. Okay, so Lydia's going to be my filmer, and we'll see how it goes. All right, we are going to read The Midnight Library, and this is by Kazuno Kahora. He did the illustrations too. Once there was a library that opened only at night. A little librarian worked there with her 3 assistant owls. Every night, animals came to the library from all over the town, and the little librarian and her 3 assistant owls helped each and every one find a perfect book. The library was always busy, but it was also peaceful and quiet place until one night when, oh my goodness, what is going to happen? Oh, bang, crash, toot, a band of squirrels began to play music. Can you play any music? Can you clap your hands? Do you have any instruments you could play? I bet you do. Shh, said the little librarian. Please be quiet in the reading room. Shh. So we're quiet at the library, right? Always. We're sorry, said the squirrels, but we're trying to find a good song for our next concert. Look, all of them are singing their music. Then follow me, said the little librarian. Silence settled upon the library once more while the band played their instruments as loud as they liked. Oh, I missed this part. And she showed the squirrels to the activity room because the library is not just for reading. Found a place that worked for them. So stick your pages. Later that night, the little librarian was busy putting books away when suddenly it started to rain. Oh dear, said the little librarian. There must be a hole in the roof. But sitting on top of a bookshelf, she found... What could it be? What could be making all that water? A wolf! Oh my goodness! And she was crying so much that her tears fell like rain. What is the matter, Miss Wolf? Asked the little librarian. What could be wrong with this wolf? Something very sad happened in my story, and I can't read it anymore, replied the wolf. Oh, please don't cry, said the little librarian, and she took Miss Wolf to the storytelling corner. They read the book together. Aw, that was so nice. They read it together, and gradually the wolf began to smile. The librarian and her assistants knew the story had a happy ending. Ding, 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 ding! The bell rang out as the sun came up. It was time for everyone to go home. One by one, the animals left the midnight library, all except one visitor. What's up with these pages? Oh, who's this? What animal is this? It's a turtle. A tortoise reading slowly in a corner, and he would not move. I must stay until I finish reading this book, said the tortoise. I only have 500 pages left. Oh my goodness, that's going to take a while, isn't it? Let's make you a library card, said the little librarian. Then you can borrow this book and take it home with you. How wonderful, said the tortoise, and how lucky am I. Look, they're going to tie the book on his shell for him. Librarians are just so helpful. Goodbye, Mr. Tortoise. Have a good day. There they go. There he goes. He's got his book. He looks pretty happy to be taking it home. The three little owls and the little librarian gave the empty library a good dust and a sweep. Then finally it was time to find one last book. A very special book. Up they went. A book of bedtime stories for 3 sleepy owls. Sleep tight. The end. That was a cute story. Let's sing a song. Do you all know the Wheels on the Bus? I bet you do. Well, this is the animals at night. So let's think of a nighttime animal. What can we think of?
Opossum.
What was the possum do? What do possums do? I know that they play dead. Do they play dead?
Hang by their tail.
They don't really hang by their tail.
But
Not what
they
the babies do. How about we do an owl? We do an owl? What were you saying? A lightning bug. A lightning bug. That's a good one. Let's do lightning bug. Have you ever caught lightning bugs before? We were seeing some flashing. We actually had one right on the outside of our tent just earlier. So let's do lightning bug. The lightning bugs at night go flash, flash, flash. Flash, flash, flash. Flash, flash, flash. The lightning bugs at night go flash, flash, flash. All night long. Let's do the owls. The owls at night go hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Hoo, hoo, hoo. The owls at night go hoo, hoo, hoo. All night long. What's another nighttime animal we can think of?
The fox goes. What does the fox say?
Oh, let's think of some. Let's think of one.
That makes sounding.
We know what the sound is. Do you have one, Cyrus? Owl. We just did owl.
Silly Zyra.
What about?
We just did lightning.
I know, but we did do owl. What about frogs? Frogs are out at nighttime, right? The frogs at nighttime go croak, 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 croak. The frogs at nighttime go croak, croak,
Hop,
croak,
hop, hop.
all night long. And what's our last one? The kids in the tent go sleep, sleep,
Snore,
sleep,
snore.
sleep,
Snore,
sleep, sleep.
snore.
The kids in the tent
Tent
go
goes snore,
sleep,
snore,
sleep,
snore.
sleep, all night
night
long. Oh, I like that
long.
one. How's your videoing doing over there, Lydia? Can we do another story? Okay, let's do another story. We mentioned lightning bugs. This is a good story about lightning bugs.
Same take.
Yeah, keep going. This is called Amy's Light. And if you've ever read, or if you've ever caught lightning bugs at night, I think you can probably relate to this story. Can you see the book really well? Okay. Oh, this is written and illustrated by Robert Nutt. And the illustrations in this are incredible. It happened one night.
Do I have to see you, Mama?
Now, it happened one night from nowhere in sight, by a house near the park when everything was dark. In bed where she lay, Amy wished it were day, for the shadows on the wall were at least 20 feet tall. She's looking a little nervous under her quilt there. When suddenly there shone a strange light at her feet. From the curtains, from the window, from the sky, from the street. Look what she's... Look out the window, it's magical. She jumped up and rushed to the window to see the most beautiful starlight dancing and free. What is it? It's lightning bugs. She smiled to herself at the thought in her head, then gathered her slippers and robe by the bed. Oh, Amy ran down the stairs, through a hall to a door, where she reached for a jar that she'd opened before. She stepped out the back to a warm summer's night and fumbled and bobbled with giddy delight. Out in her yard, such spectacular sights, billions and zillions of flickering lights. Oh, her whole yard is full. How beautiful. Now she ran, then she jumped, and she gathered with glee. First 13, then 16, and now 23. That's a great yard for fireflies. Wow. Amy giggled and wiggled and held up to see a warm, glowing jar as bright as could be. Oh, there's one on her cheek. With growing excitement, she ran to the house, through the door, through the hall, up the stairs like a mouse. She's sneaking back to her room. Closing her door, she made not a sound, for fear that her secret would surely be found. She took off her slippers, dropped her robe to the floor to keep out the darkness from under the door. With her eyes on the jar from the base to the rim, she was suddenly saddened, for the light had gone dim. Oh, I wonder why they're not blinking. She ran to the window, took the lid off to see, and the lights became brighter, now suddenly set free. Skip a page. Oh my gosh. There, haha, wow, tricky. Jumping for joy, Amy watched with delight as they flickered and flickered and flew out of sight. Dreamily lifting her robe from the floor, Amy found that her room wasn't dark like before. She's feeling much better. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. And the shadows on the wall were really nothing at all. There's one little firefly left. The end. So I like that story. It's sweet. It reminds me so many times of going out and catching fireflies with my family or with my mom and dad when I was a little kid. So maybe if you've ever got to do that before, you could tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. I have a little lightning bug song for us. Are you doing okay filming over there, Lydia? Okay. So you can join along with me on this little rhyme here. Winking, blinking, winking, blinking. See that light? Now it's here. Now it's there. Now it's out of sight. Winking, blinking, winking, blinking. Fireflies at night. For today's craft, you will need some paper, some yellow or green paint, some black paint, something to put paint on, a black marker, a pencil, and a paintbrush. Gather your supplies, and we'll move to our next step. For the first step, draw something that looks like a jar, and then cut it out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now that you have your jar, go ahead and put some yellow paint on something, and let's get started. We're just going to put our thumb in here, rub it around, maybe rub it off a little bit. Just got a little bit on there, and let's make some thumbprints all over. So my yellow's not very yellowy, but it's working. Just make some thumbprints. This is going to be the body of our firefly. And now you'll want to wait while that dries. While it's drying, you can go ahead and color the lid of the jar if you want to. For the next step, you'll be adding some wings to your fireflies, and you just get a little bit. You can use either black paint or black marker and just add some wings to each one. Doesn't have to be perfect. 2 wings. These are just oval shapes we're making here. And I suppose you could even do this with the edge of your pinky if you want to do more fingerprints. That looks nice. And now we'll let these dry, and then we'll add the antennas. For the very last step, I used a black marker to add a little head and 2 antennas to each firefly. If you really want to get authentic, you can add some glow-in-the-dark paint over the little yellow parts and hang it up and turn in your room and turn off the lights, and you'll have your own fireflies all night long.
Well, we ran out of steam to make it through a Firefly game that we had planned to play at the campground, so I found a cute one online, and I'll have that link for you. Fireflies communicate with their lights, and each firefly species has its own pattern. So this is a cute little game where you get to make your own firefly pattern and try to find it with all the other fireflies. It's really simple. So the first thing you get to do is make your own pattern. So I'm going to do pink, pink, purple, I guess that's sort of purple, purple, yellow. And that's your pattern. To kind of remember it, definitely have to remember it. And then you go, and we're trying to find that one. So pink, pink. So this one? No, it's this one. And then more fireflies are added. And you have to find it again. Can you find it? Is it this one? Oh my goodness. And then they add more fireflies, and it just keeps going, and it gets harder and harder and harder to find your firefly. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? Oh, yay. So maybe give that a try and see how you do finding your firefly. All right, hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.